Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to All for United. It's Temi, aka Temi Talks United, back with another video, and I'm here with my guy Gary. How you doing today, bro?
Okay, Temi, yourself? Good?
Doing good. I cannot complain at all. Everyone make sure, if you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on any other platform, Facebook, make sure to go to youtube.com/All for United and join and get your comments in and hit that like button. We want to get to 20 likes. This is the player rating show. We took some time, we cooled off, relaxed a little bit since the game. Pretty boring game, pretty straightforward though. We'll go through each player, give them a score out of 10, and we'll go from there. Everyone, make sure youtube.com/All for United. And we're going to get right into this. Starting at the back with our goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. Gary, what do you think?
7? Yeah, I think a 7 for Henderson. He did okay. He got troubled, obviously, after about 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes, it was fairly quiet. It was all United. But then after that, they got more into the game, obviously, Watford, and he made a couple of important saves. Took out Boy, obviously, got injured again, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd say 7.
7, okay. Interesting. I feel like that's kind of high personally. I think there was a couple moments in the first half that he came out of his box and probably it wasn't the right choice. There was one time Tuanzebe saved him right on the line off of a set piece. There was another time he came out of the box, barely got to it, but he did. And then he injured Bailly. That was another one. He gave Bailly a knee to the head. And that just pissed me off. I'm so sorry. I'm going to give him a 6 because at the end of the day, he didn't really make any crucial mistakes, but I just felt uneasy. There was a nervousness I had to him. I don't know what it was today, but hey, we moved. He got a clean sheet at the end of the day. I'm not gonna kill the guy. You know what I mean?
That's why he gets a 7. That's why he gets a 7 from me, I think, because of the clean sheet.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm so right back. Brandon Williams. What did you think of his performance today?
It was okay. I think he plays best on the left. I know he's naturally right-sided, but I think I'd give him a 6 tonight. He just got a bit out-muscled in places, but he did okay. He's no Wan-Bissaka. I think we can all safely say that Wan-Bissaka's played position safer at right back. I know we've always been looking at other players to try and cover that position, and I think there's been talk of Brandon Williams obviously being loaned out as well, but I think 6 for Brandon Williams.
Yeah, I would agree. I think a 6 is a fair score. I don't think he did anything terrible, but I don't think he did anything too great. I think it's still obvious though that he probably does need a loan spell.
Yeah,
he's better than Wan-Bissaka, and it doesn't look like he's. Personally, I don't think he's anywhere near, and that's not a disrespect to Brandon Williams. I just think that he needs some more game time in men's football. Playing consistently week in and week out. And he's not going to get that at this club right now. He's just not. I think in big games, let's say Wan-Bissaka is injured and we have to play a league game, I think Ali's going to put Tuanzebe there if the option is there. So I think that let's see what the comment says. Jamie Gretton says 5. I think that might be a tad harsh. I'm not mad at it though. It's just a tad harsh. But I would go with the 6. I would go with the 6, and I think me and Gary will both go with that as well. Right center back, Eric Bailly, for the 45 minutes that he played. How did you assess his performance?
He looked solid. I think the only thing I would say is sometimes when he gets the ball, he gives the ball away too quickly. Doesn't think about the pass. There's a couple of instances where he just got the ball. Oh, I'll just clear it, or I think I'll play it out. But there was a few misplaced passes. I wouldn't be too harsh. Maybe 6. Or do you think that's too low? I mean, I don't know.
No. I think that's fair. I think that's accurate. I think 6 for me. A 6 is very much so. It wasn't. It's good. It's good to very good. I think he had a good game. He didn't have much to do defensively, to be quite fair. There was a few moments where I thought him and Tuanzebe kind of had like a mental switch off, where if it was a better team, they would have pounced on it. Kind of a couple passes that were a little too long, things here. But at the end of the day, they handled everything pretty well. There was a couple crosses that came into the box by I remember a pretty powerful clearance from a set piece that he made. And it was I just think I think it was a solid game for him, and I think a 6 is a fair score. I think Jamie Grens in the comments have 20. If you are watching on Twitter or Facebook, be sure to join us on youtube.com/all for United. Hit that like button. We want to get this up 20 likes. You can keep having this show and have a good time. I enjoy this anyway. Anyway, let's move on to 2NZB. What score would you give him? Excuse, yeah, 2NZB. 2NZB. Sorry.
I think another 6 as well. They say, they say clear one off the line, but I don't think the ball was anywhere near the line. To be honest, I think it was nowhere near it. But I'd say a 6. Again, he didn't have much to do, to be honest, in parts. And the partnership with him and Bailly, it looked fairly good up to a point. So I'd say a 6.
Yeah, I agree. I think a 6 is fair again. Again, when defenders don't have too much to do, it's hard to give them a 7. Because they weren't ever really under the cosh. They weren't ever really threatened. Like for me, against Man City, I thought outside of the first goal, I thought Maguire and Lindelof had a ton to do, and they handled most of it well. Aside from obviously the blatant error with the set piece, but it's hard to judge someone when they're not playing. We're on the front foot about 75% of the game. So I think a 6 is a fair score. Left back Alex Telles. I thought he had a pretty decent game today. What would you say?
I think again 6. Yeah, he gave away too many silly little passes and free kicks as well. I think that was the point of United tonight, was giving away too many silly free kicks in our own half, obviously. But yeah, I think 6 for Telles. He's a good signing for us. We needed another player in left back, and I think he's been good so far. But I think tonight, I think worthy of a 6.
Yeah, I think a 6 is an accurate score. Again, I think the whole back line, I don't think there was anything between them. I think, first of all, the assist was a beautiful cross. You got to give him credit for that. Wonderful, wonderful cross. That being said, I thought there was some times defensively where he did get ran by, which is going to happen for, a left back who wants to be more forward thinking. But I think overall, his passing was pretty decent. His delivery into the box was pretty consistent throughout the game. You can't complain. And then Felix over here agrees, says my best player was Telles. We'll see who the man of the match is. We'll have that discussion near the end of the show, so stick with us. Let's go into that double pivot. And I'll start with Scott McTominay. What do you think he did today, Gary?
Captain's performance, really. It was his first game as captain. I honestly thought they would have given it to Juan Mata before the start of the game, but I thought it was just, Scott McTominay's been there since the age of 5. He knows the club inside and out. How old is he now? 22? Is he 23?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had to put on a really good captain's display, and he got the goal from a set piece. Obviously, we don't score many from corners this season for some strange reason, but I think he was worthy of an 8, most definitely.
An 8. Wow, an 8. Yeah. I was not going to go that high. I think he did score the goal. That's fair enough. I agree with that. I would have. It's tough because I think I'm gonna go with the 6 again. That might be harsh. That might be. I do, and let me tell you why. I'll explain it. So after the goal, I do think that there was a point from, let's say, the 20th minute, from the 20th minute until the end of the game. I feel like it was it was just slow. It was kind of languid. There was a couple passes he made today where it was, when he had time on the ball, he played it out. And that's I might be harsh. I might look back at this game and think I'm being harsh, but that's not, again, a 6 to me is not you played poorly. Again, I'm saying you didn't do anything. Obviously, the goal. You know what? 7. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm gonna give him a 7. Maybe a 6 is harsh. I'll give him a 7. Because he did, at the end of the day, get us across the line. But I think for the full 90, I thought it was an okay. I don't think he was Leeds performance. That was like a 10. And if you take away the goals, in the Leeds performance, I would have given him like a 7-8. But no, I think today, good game, not great. And we move. I think I've seen Scott McTominay put in better performances than tonight, personally.
I agree. Yeah, he's put in better performances, definitely. But I think he's got the goal. I think he deserved an 8. But maybe
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I see why you're giving him the 8. I will go with 7. Maybe 6 was a bit too harsh. Tellez 5. Let's go back to that. Tellez 5 wasn't. Wow, I thought he was okay. I think that's a little harsh. I think this is about Scott. I'd go 7. He did pretty well at times, but gave away the ball too much, a little sloppy. I did think he gave away the ball kind of when it wasn't difficult. That's kind of what I'm referencing. When you have time and space on the ball, then you give the ball away as opposed to when you're under the cosh. That's kind of where I'm like,
He's
you know what I mean?
He's not one of them sort of players that gives the killer passes, though. We rely on Pogba and Fernandes to do that, don't we?
Right.
Sort of player.
Yeah, I agree. Next person in that double pivot was Donny van de Beek, and Charlie Killam thinks van de Beek was brilliant. Gary, what do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm going to give him an 8 because he made the most passes. And he didn't lose the ball that often, to be honest. And he's a class player for us. He just needs to be getting more games. I think once Pogba goes, because I can see it, it's inevitable he's going to go. I think he's going to slot into the team, but it's how they slot him into the team. But he's definitely worthy of an 8 tonight. I think it's just his movement off the ball. He's pointing to where he wants the ball. He's telling other players where they should be going. Yeah, I think he's a class player. Just needs more regular football.
Yeah, I agree. I would give him. I'm gonna give him a 7. It's a better 7 than Scott. So I don't know how else to explain that. Like if we did 0.5s on this show, which we don't, no 0.5s here. I would probably say 7.5, but I'm gonna give him a 7. I thought he looked really good. Again, tidy on the ball, doesn't make mistakes, keeps the ball recycled. I think he's a bit too deep, and you can tell sometimes defensively he really wants to be further up the pitch. A lot of people keep on saying, we should play him in that 6 more. I think he would be better served playing in one of our front 4 positions, wherever it is. If it's on the right-hand side to get him in a game, so be it. You know what I mean? Because I think he's that quality. I think he needs to be playing sometimes, in some of the bigger games.
He's an intelligent player. He plays with a lot of intelligence.
Yeah, and because he plays with a lot of intelligence, you can play him as a number 6 against Watford, and it'd be fine. But against stronger opposition, I think the defensive. I'll just say his defensive mindset isn't there. He wants to be further up the pitch. He wants to be, making runs into the box and scoring goals. Like the flick to Juan Mata that Mata didn't finish.
Yeah.
Quality, absolute quality.
Yeah.
Let's look at the comments here. 7 for me from Arlo Bobbins. He was nice and tidy, but a little safe. Would have liked to see him offer more creatively. It's hard to do that from deep. It's hard to do that when you're in a double pivot. You know what I'm saying? It's you're not supposed to be in and around the box that often when you're playing a number 6 role, which is what those 2 defensive midfielders are in that pivot. They're 6s. They don't really play as 8s very often, unless we're facing Leeds and they're just shit and you can just run past all their midfielders. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think Gary, you said 8 for Van de Beek, and then I went with the 7. I think that's pretty fair on both sides. Everyone, get your thoughts in the comments below. We have 21 people watching with us. Everyone, make sure to go to youtube.com/all4united. Somebody who is on YouTube right now, let me know how many likes we have. We want to get to 20 to 25 likes and support the movement. Like I always said, let's move to the number 10 position, which is where who played number 10 today? Was it Lingard? Lingard.
I was going to say Juan, but Lingard.
Yeah, Lingard did play number 10 today. How'd you feel? First of all, his first start since Brighton in the Cup. What did you make of his performance today?
He's 28 now. I think his days are over. It's a shame, really. I think we've had the best years have gone past him now. We've got other players in the team that offer a lot more, like Van der Beek. I'm going to give him a 5. It's probably harsh, but for me, he's lost it.
Yeah, I would go with a. You're probably right. I'm not gonna be biased. I'm gonna go with the 5, and the only reason I'm going with the 5 is because when he burnt out, it's gonna happen when you're playing. You don't play consistent games. He obviously burned out in the second half. I thought the first couple minutes he was pretty lively, making passes. Getting in between the lines. Laying it off well, and then the issue with Lingard, he's just disappeared in games. You can't play the number 10 position for Manchester United and no one knows you're there. That's the biggest issue. And that's the issue we had last year pre-Bruno. We played Andreas there, ghost. We played Lingard there, ghost. And it's kind of the same thing today, and it's kind of tough to ever be consistent and want to play on the side when we don't feel your impact. So I think a 5 is a fair score. Definitely a fair score. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Charlie says, disappointed with Lingard. Poor lad has had a tough few years through injuries and personal life and really think it's affected him on the pitch. I personally just think he's not that good. I don't think that's no disrespect to him. The injuries are true. The personal stuff is true. But I don't ever think, even when at his best, was he ever Manchester United quality, starting quality? I think the answer is no. I think
his early years, he showed a lot of potential, and you know, he looked good in some games. I mean, the game away to Arsenal in the Cup, and we beat him in the Cup, he was superb. But then since then, he's just gone a bit downhill. And he has had personal problems, but you know, there's people at the club to help him out with that. You know, yeah.
It's tough. I think a 5 is fair. Not too much to talk about with Lingard. He probably might be gone this January. Who knows? We still have a couple weeks left in this transfer window. On the right-hand side, Juan Mata, what did you think of his performance today?
I think I'll give him a 6. You know, him and Van der Beek, they link up. Again, he's an intelligent player. I don't get why he's sometimes his distribution wasn't what it used to be. I think a 6 for Juan Mata. He is an intelligent player, but you know, Van der Beek said him a couple of times. Yeah, that's it really for Juan. 6.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Another day at the office for Juan Mata. You know, kept it pretty tight. I think in the final third, he was more poor than he normally is. I think the final third he's a little more neat, a little more tidy. I think he would have normally finishes that chance he had that Van der Beek gave him with that beautiful flick.
Yeah.
But again, Juan Mata rarely, in my personal opinion, he rarely gives you a poor game. He rarely gives you a 4 out of 10, a 3. Like he's not. That's never going to happen with Juan. Has too much class, has too much experience. But yeah, no, I think a 6 is definitely a fair score, guys. What do you think about his comments? What do you think about a 6? Let me know what I think Mata's free kick was frustrating. I don't remember which one you're referring. I think I do remember which one you're referring to with Rashford on it with him as well. But yeah, no, I think it was another run-of-the-mill day. On the left-hand side, we had Dan James. Gary, what did you think of his performance?
How much time you got to talk about Dan James? I mean, he started off for the first 10 minutes rapidly, but I've said it before on here. He just runs and runs and runs, and there's no end product. And if he does put the ball in, he puts it in too far. You know, he's not a United player, I don't think. You know, the first game he played against Chelsea, everyone got excited when he scored that goal. For me, 5, and that's a generous 5.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's I don't want to call it unfortunate because it was always going to be a risk. You know, bringing a player up from the championship and asking him to play that amount of minutes. The amount of minutes we did ask him to play in that first season probably overwhelmed him. Probably he realized like, whoa, I'm way behind the pace of this league. And then we bring in better players. He's out of the side now. The end product, like you said, though, is poor. It is so poor. He gets in the positions, and then the shot is straight at the keeper's feet. You know, and then even after, I think he had 10 minutes where it was like, oh, I'm lively, and then after that, it kind of just wasn't anything.
Yeah,
it just fizzled out, and I think that's the story of what Daniel James is at Manchester United. He'll probably never be a first-team player for Manchester United. Sometimes I sit back and I ask myself this: does Dan James start for Aston Villa? Does he start for those mid-tier Premier League teams? I seriously question it. And he's somebody that got tons of time for us last year. But hey, we move on. I think a 5 is a fair score. A 5 is a very, very fair score. People, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Up top, we had Mason Greenwood. What did you think of him today?
Well, I've said on here a number of times he's a future number 9, but tonight he didn't look like a number 9. People saying he didn't get the service. It's all good and well, but I think at the moment he looks better on the right as a wide player for the moment. I mean, he 19 years of age. There's a long way to go for him to develop into number 9, but I think I'll give him a 5 tonight.
Yeah, that is spot on. Couldn't agree more. Greenwood. Oh, I see right here. Greenwood 3. That's a bit harsh. I think
That's
3 is a
very
bit harsh.
harsh.
Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh. I think a 5 is accurate because one, I think the real issues, when you're a 19-year-old playing number 9, the likes of okay, I'll give you an example, even though I'm not the hugest fan. Erling Haaland, he scores tons and tons of goals. The reason he can score tons of goals is because of his movement is better than Mason Greenwood's. Secondly, he has a 25-year-old, a grown man's body at 19, 20 years old. Whereas Mason, he can't put his back to goal, he can't put his back on the center back and ask, and you ask him to hold the ball up and play the ball at his feet. He just can't do it. So we saw him drifting wide, trying to receive the ball in those positions. Juan Mata's, he's kind of getting in his way. He's trying to find positions on the pitch to be effective. He could never get a shot off today. He never really was able to get a shot off today. And I think this game is a reminder that we have to be patient with these young players. I saw a lot of people last year saying Mason should be a regular starter in our side, and he should be. No, he shouldn't be a regular starter on the side just yet. He needs to be integrated in. He needs to be a super sub when the game's when the game's on, the game's tight and you need a goal and there's space on that pitch. That's when Mason comes in and makes an impact. But to ask him to play number 9 for Manchester United consistently week in and week out, it's impossible. You can't do it yet. He needs he needs a solid 15 to 20 pounds on him. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating.
He definitely needs to bulk up. It's the same with Dan James, though, to be honest. He needs to bulk up. They both need to bulk up.
Yeah.
But especially Greenwood. I mean, like I said, he's a future star. I mean, he's a 2-footed player.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing both feet. But at the moment, he's still learning his trade. And at the moment, if we put him on the wide right, he's got pace.
Right. Yep. Yeah. No one can finish better than him in our side. If he gets a shot at goal, I would put him over Tony. Everyone knows how much I love Tony. I love Marcus, but they can't finish like him. But that being said, they have aspects of their game, like Martial can play with his back to goal. Rashford has the breakaway, like the next level pace. He has the tricks in his bag that Mason doesn't have just yet. And that's all going to come. But I'm really excited. I was happy that he got that time playing that position. Because we can't ask him to play that in England in the Premier League consistently. We can't ask him to play that in Europa League and big matches like that. But in cup games like this, I love it. Play him up top, make him learn the hard way, and he'll get better. He'll get better 100%. Let's talk about the subs. Captain Harry Maguire came in and saved the day when Eric Bailly got hurt. What did you think about his 45 minutes of action?
Well, I think they could have probably waited till half time. I mean, Eric, he didn't have concussion or anything. He probably could have come on, but I think Ollie didn't want to take any chances with him, which is fair enough because he is made of glass. Let's be honest. It's hard to say with Maguire, really. 6.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
I think 6 is a fair score. I think 6 is a very fair score. A full half clean sheet in that half. Didn't really have to. There was a couple times where he was shaky, but I always feel like there's a couple times where he's going to be shaky in a game. But all in all, I think he had a decent game. I will say this: a lot of people might think I'm crazy. I think he's playing better this season than he played last season, even though we're leaking in more goals. People might think I'm crazy about that. I think that he's definitely.
I agree.
I definitely think he's much. I was hard on him last year, very hard on him, and I still. To this day, I will say that 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire is not good business. But that being said, he has showed me that he is a good center back. He's a good center back, and if we do find the right partnership for him, even who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we can win a title with him at center back.
I think the only thing they shouldn't have done is made him captain straight away. I think he should have just thrown into the role.
That would have been a huge mistake in my opinion. Huge mistake, and way too soon. Yeah, I completely agree, and I don't want to get into that conversation because it kind of gets into kind of a negative back and forth, But I know what you meant though, because I agree with you, completely agree with you. But yeah, no, I think that we have to see buy into Xavier today. I thought they looked good when they were as a partnership. But interesting stuff. Let me get the other subs in. Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial, just flat 5s. I mean, what did they do when they came on? Is that fair to say?
I think Rashford made a bit more of a difference on the left, like he does. I mean, he ran and got the skill, like you said earlier on. But he just gets to the point. He just tries to do too much. He thought he could go try and walk the ball in the back of the net, which he couldn't do. But yeah, I think 5. I was going to say 6, but I think I'll agree with you. 5. I was going to give Martial definitely 5, but
I think 6. Yeah, and that's not even it's not a 5 that they played bad. It's just they're a sub and things don't change drastically. I do remember a beautiful run from Rashford, and then I think he should have, in my opinion, if he had laid it off to Mata or laid it off to Martial, would have been a better choice, and he went to shoot for it. But I think it's fine. It's fine. Sell Martial. Unbelievable. What is that? Unbelievable. Igalo can replace him. Unbelievable.
Oh, what?
I'm wearing a Nigerian jersey. Igalo is Nigerian. I would never in 10 billion years replace Igalo with Anthony Martial. You have lost it, my guy.
For a player like Igalo to earn $600,000 a week in China, he's done very well for himself. It's all right.
Great for himself. For himself. Nemanja Matic came in for about 10 minutes. Do we want to give him a grade? I don't know if I would. 5. Yeah, flat 5. No, he didn't do anything. And then we always do the coach today. What would you give all on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, do we see enough of him on the touchline? I don't think we do. I don't know who's on the touch. Pierre McKenna a lot of the time. I don't know. Was it Mike Phelan? So whenever the camera's on him, he's normally sat in the stands. And I know he's got his little camera by the side of him. So tonight he looked fairly relaxed. Happy when we saw the goal. He's cheering, obviously. 6 tonight, I'd say.
Yeah, fair. I would give him a 6 as well. I think the game was managed relatively well. I think he made subs at the right time, in my opinion. I think he picked the perfect time to bring on Tony and Marcus. If anything, they just relieved a little bit of pressure. 6 is the most. Or people are probably upset it was a boring game, but do you really want an exciting game in this type of? You just want to get through, in my opinion. Sometimes you just need to take your wins and accept. Especially when you want to rotate. If you're rotating a squad, you can't expect those players to be at their sparkling best when they don't play together enough. So I think 6 is a fair score. Everyone, get your thoughts in the comments. We're going to be rounding up here pretty soon. Before we leave, I want to get Gary's man of the match. Who did you think was man of the match today?
Well, obviously, people said McTominay, and I know I gave him a May, but I think for me, Van der Beek. The passes.
Van der Beek? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with Van der Beek too. I gave him a 7. I think he did look good today, even though it wasn't his natural position. We did see some flaws, but I think overall, who was the tidiest player for 90 minutes? It was probably Van der Beek. I see a 2 ends, maybe man of the match. I'm not mad at that. I'm not too mad at that. He was okay. I think he did well today. Who else? Let's see if we can get any more comments. But if we don't, hey, we're gonna round up pretty soon. Gary, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining this late night show. We're gonna try and do this more often, guys. So make sure to hit that like button so we can do these player rating show more often. I am gonna be signing out, guys. Everyone, have a great night. And we move to Burnley, isn't it? We have Burnley next in the league. Huge match. So very excited for that.
Cavani be back for that.
Cavani will be back. Very excited to see him play again. I love him. Guys, we will sign out, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Deuces.